Hi, this is Taina with honeybyt, where I bring you sweet, condensed wisdom. Today I'm talking about a Mel Robbins podcast episode, number 163, where she is interviewing Dr. Tara Swart. She's a brain scientist, Oxford accredited. And in this podcast, it's all about the science of manifestation. She shares how to trick your brain into manifesting your goal, or as she calls it, your magnetic desires. So your brain is constantly being shaped. That's called neuroplasticity. Anybody at any age can change their brain. It is never too late, not even for you. And with manifesting, we are able to shape our mind towards the outcome that we desire. Your brain is wired to survive. So as long as you have food and shelter covered, it basically shuts off. So it takes us and our willingness to create a better life to work on that. Our brain will not do that for us. We have to force the brain to do so. Your brain changes with repetition and emotional intensity. And how can you find out if you really want something? Well, first ask your head, then ask your heart, and then ask your gut if you want a specific thing. And if all three parts are in agreement, then you have magnetic desire, which helps you to catapult you to another level. Manifesting is basically a brain priming process. The brain will filter out everything that it doesn't need, and you will need to make sure to show your brain what you actually want. To do manifesting the right way, Dr. Tara suggests 4 steps. First step is raise your awareness. Make yourself aware of what you really want. Ask your head, your heart, and your gut, and write that down. And that's 50% of the way. You have to be clear about what it is that you really want. Second, figure out the habits that get you to where you really want to go and be really specific about those habits. Micro habits are perfect. They will put you in the right direction. Talk to a friend. Voice and express what you really want. Write a journal. That's step number 3. And step number 4 is accountability. Have that person that holds you accountable. Journal, or as I said, even better, have another person involved and constantly work on your habits and to train the brain what you want to do. If you haven't been able to hold up a habit, then ask yourself, why not? If not, then why? Why were you not able to go through with that promise to yourself? Our brain has slow connecting pathways and fast connecting pathways. Fast connecting pathways, like pulling your hand out of a fire, and slow connecting pathways, like the pain. If we felt the pain, we would be handicapped by it and could not do anything. So by the repetition of habits, you are creating fast connecting pathways. Continued practice leads to a faster connecting pathway. And manifestation is not a luxury, it is essential. If you have negative self-talk, ask yourself, where does this come from? Where does this thought and where does this belief stem from? Let's say if nobody in your family has ever gone to university, you can say, nobody from my family has ever been going to university yet. So with the little word yet, you open up that possibility that you are the one who's going to be the first. When manifesting a new relationship, for example, send a friend 5 things you love about them and ask them to send 5 things they love about you back to you. And that will give you a clearer picture of, and probably more opportunities will be able for you once you see yourself from somebody else's perspective. Always start your day with gratitude. Be grateful for your bed. Be grateful for your pillow. Have a I love list. I love this room. I love my husband. I love my dog. And that will already flush your system with oxytocin, the happiness hormone. Now, what cannot prevail if there's a lot of oxytocin? Cortisol, the stress hormone. So you're basically keeping the stress out first thing in the morning. Have your phone in the bathroom and just focus on your gratitude and focus on yourself. It's very good for your brain. Another tool is a vision board, or as Tara calls it, an action board. And when you verify the items that you like, when you glue them to that board, already be grateful for it coming true. Then you already have a kick of dopamine, and it will be more likely that you achieve it, because when you already see yourself, your brain can hardly tell the difference. What is so important is when you're grateful is your body releases oxytocin, your body releases hormones, and your body releases cortisol too. So if you are stressed, you're most likely stressing out the people around you. And if the people around you are stressed, guess what? you will have to do really thorough work to remain calm. If you want to calm your nervous system, meaning if you want to be in a parasympathetic nervous system, that is the relax and digest mode, then do journaling, do gratitude, do breathing, do yoga, do relaxation to lower that cortisol. Because if you're in cortisol mode, it's your sympathetic nervous system, which shuts everything off that is not needed at that very moment. And if you're flooded with cortisol, the brain thinks you're about to die. And therefore, the brain will make sure that you have enough fat around your belly, the visceral fat, because your brain thinks, oh my God, we're starving. So unless you bring down that cortisol, you will not get rid of your belly fat. Also, cortisol lowers the immune system. So if you are wondering why you have been getting a lot of colds, well, maybe a lot of cortisol could be to blame. Another thing that you should do when you are stressed is magnesium intake, ideally through the skin. There's magnesium lotions, there's magnesium baths, because magnesium helps you to deal with stress. So if you're depleted, that means that you've had a lot of stress and you need more magnesium. Another sign for magnesium deficiency is if your eye is twitching. So take a bath in magnesium. Best foods to eat are dark food. If you have a choice between a lighter food and a darker food, let's say a grape, always go with the darker food. It's beneficial for your brain. The brain is only about 3% of your body weight, but it consumes 20 to 30% of all of the calories, 20% during sleep, 30% when you're in high intense mental workout. So make sure that the food that you are eating is brain food, meaning healthy fats, avocado, seeds, salmon, fermented food like kimchi and sauerkraut, leafy vegetables, you know which foods those are. And regarding the brain and gut connection, a really interesting thought of the frontal cortex. This is where the current information is stored that we need. If it's not needed anymore, it's getting pushed back into our limbic system. And then it actually travels down the spine and it is stored in your gut. So the gut is basically our hidden brain that captured all of the influences that we were exposed to. So that's when listening to your gut basically means like you're listening to all of the experiences that you have made that you don't even remember. Gut and brain is definitely connected. And have you ever wondered why women synchronize their menstrual cycle? Well, they're sweating out the hormone estrogen, and it goes back to our cave days where the male needed to impregnate 5 women in order to make sure that his DNA was still alive. That's why his women in the cave were fertile at the same time so that he could get them all knocked up at the same time. And that's still the case nowadays. Our brain, however, is still living in the cave. In summary, our brain is amazing, and anybody is able to change their brain. The biggest hurdle, not wanting to. So grab those glue guns, grab those magazines, create your new vision board, and now you have the science of intention and manifestation. And again, this was Mel Robbins Podcast number 163 with Dr. Tara Swart. She's also the author of the book, The Source, where, of course, she goes into much more detail. Thank you for listening to today's honeybyt Sweet Wisdom, and I hope you'll be inspired.